Welcome, curious minds, to another deep dive.
Great to be here.
Today we're plunging into a topic that honestly touches nearly every aspect of our lives. Sometimes, obviously, sometimes. Well, not so much. We're talking about technical communication.
Right. And I know what some people might be thinking.
Exactly. Maybe, dusty old instruction manuals, dry reports.
Yeah. Something boring or overly complicated.
But I promise you, what we're about to unpack today, based on Chapter 1 of Gurak and Lannon's Technical Communication Global Edition, will completely reframe how you see it.
It's surprisingly dynamic, actually.
Totally. Our mission today, to really get what technical communication is at its core, why it's so vital in almost everything we do, and crucially, how it empowers you to understand and interact with the world.
That empowerment piece is key.
It really is. And to kick things off, to challenge those old ideas right away, let me share this quote. It's from Paul Harder, president of a consulting firm. He says, and this really struck me, "Writing is essential to my work. Everything we do at my company results in a written product. No matter if the document is to be delivered in print or online, writing is the most important skill we seek and nurture. It is very hard to find people with strong writing skills, regardless of their academic background."
Wow. That just cuts right through, doesn't it?
Right. Instantly changes things.
It really does. What's fascinating there is how immediately you see technical communication isn't some, niche skill for a few specialists. It's foundational. It's presented as a critical, in-demand capability for pretty much everyone in the professional world. That quote shifts the whole perception.
From boring manuals to essential business skills.
Exactly. It underlines that clear communication is just indispensable, whatever career path you're on.
Okay, so if it's that fundamental, that vital, let's peel back the layers. The source defines it as the exchange of information that helps people interact with technology and solve complex problems. What really makes it technical communication? How is it different from, say, writing a novel or just a regular business email? What exactly is it then?
That's a great question because the lines can seem blurry sometimes. The core difference really comes down to purpose and utility.
Purpose and utility.
Okay.
Right.
Unlike creative writing, which might aim to, entertain or evoke emotion,
Right.
or even general business communication, which could be pretty broad, technical communication is laser focused. It's about enabling action.
Action.
Or enabling understanding so someone can act. It's about empowering people to do something specific, operate a machine, follow a procedure, make an informed decision based on complex data.
So simplifying complexity.
Precisely. Clarity and usability are paramount. It's almost like designing a tool. It has to fit the user's need perfectly. It has to work.
That makes so much sense. It's not just about saying something, it's about making sure the other person can use what you said.
Exactly.
And it's funny how we often only notice it when it fails, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Like that moment of pure frustration when you're trying to set up some new gadget, a digital camera, a Wi-Fi extender.
You've all been there.
And then that tiny moment of victory when the light finally turns green, that whole journey, it hinges on the technical communication.
It really does. That success or failure often comes down to how well that information was conveyed.
Yeah.
It's like the invisible architecture supporting our interactions with technology.
Invisible architecture, I like that.
And it plays out constantly in so many examples the source gives. Beyond just tech gadgets, think about bigger decisions.
Like what?
Well, choosing investments, for instance. You need to grasp complex financial information, right?
Definitely.
Or picking an online course, understanding the curriculum, what you need to know beforehand, what you'll actually learn. That clarity is crucial.
Okay, yeah.
Even simple business negotiations. How clearly is a proposal written? How concise is the summary? Good communication facilitates agreement. Bad communication, well, it can derail everything. And even the basics, preparing a memo, a letter, a report, designing a web page, putting together a PowerPoint presentation. Every single one is an act of technical communication.
Designed to be accurate, understandable.
And easy to use for a specific purpose. That's the goal.
So it's really about enabling that action and understanding, making information useful.
Precisely. Which is why the source emphasizes it serves various needs in various settings. It's incredibly diverse.
It really seems to be everywhere once you start looking.
It is. And figure 1.1 in the source gives a nice snapshot of the typical kinds of technical communication. These aren't just abstract categories. They're the practical tools we encounter all the time.
Okay, let's break some of those down, like instructions.
Right. Instructions. These are all about helping people perform a specific task. Think assembling furniture, or that lawnmower example from the source.
Ah, the dreaded flat pack furniture instructions.
Exactly. You know how crucial good instructions are there? They need to be direct, step by step, no ambiguity, one confusing diagram or poorly worded step.
And your whole afternoon is gone.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And maybe a few extra holes drilled where they shouldn't be.
Yeah.
So direct, actionable guidance is key.
Okay, what else? User guides.
Yeah, user guides. These are often more comprehensive. The example given is operating a compound microscope.
Right, much more complex than a lawnmower.
For sure. It's not just assembly. It's about making complex equipment genuinely accessible, explaining functions, how to troubleshoot, how to really use it effectively. A good user guide anticipates your questions.
So it helps you build proficiency.
Exactly. Without overwhelming you. It's the difference between fumbling and feeling confident.
Makes sense. What about reports?
Reports. These are usually about analyzing a problem or an issue. Think a scientific report on research findings, or an engineering report diagnosing a fault.
So providing insights and data.
Critical insights, yeah.
Yeah.
They help decision makers understand a situation thoroughly and figure out the next steps. A good report doesn't just dump data, it helps you interpret it.
Okay. And memos. They feel a bit more everyday.
They often are. Memos are typically concise internal communications, answering quick questions about project progress, maybe, or sharing an important update within the team or company.
Quick and to the point.
Designed for efficiency, getting everyone on the same page quickly. They're like the essential little pulses of information, keeping things moving.
Got it. And the last one mentioned was procedures.
Right, procedures. These are often more formal, documented steps. Think about safety protocols or complying with regulations.
Ah, so high stakes there.
Absolutely. Procedures for complying with government regulations, for example, they ensure things are done safely, legally, consistently, protecting people and the organization.
And if they're poorly written.
The consequences can be serious. Fines, accidents, you name it. So you see, these aren't just, writing tasks.
No, they're fundamental tools.
Exactly. For solving problems, ensuring safety, driving progress, they're the scaffolding that makes complex processes manageable.
Okay, so we've got a handle on the scope and the types. But how has the digital age changed all this? Because clearly we're not just dealing with printed manuals anymore.
Oh, absolutely. The digital transformation is huge. The biggest shift is just the sheer speed and ubiquity of it all.
Like how?
Well, think about your own workday. How much happens via email, texts, chat, maybe social media for work, shared documents?
Pretty much all of it.
Right. The source points this out. Digital is now the primary medium. It's faster, allows for collaboration across distances, dispersed teams working on the same document in real time.
So documents become more fluid.
Exactly. Living documents, constantly reviewed, revised, shared, often across time zones. It's a whole different way of working with information.
That's fascinating, but does that speed and ease mean the human element gets lost? Or maybe it makes it even more critical.
That's a really sharp observation. And you're right. While the tools are faster and broader, the human element, the need for clarity and precision, if anything, it's become more critical.
Really?
Because the speed itself raises the stakes. Think about it. A poorly worded email, a confusing chat message. It can spread misinformation or cause misunderstandings instantly.
Right, it can cascade.
Exactly. The potential for error and the speed at which that error can propagate is much higher. So those professional standards, clarity, appropriate tone, accuracy, they're still absolutely paramount. Maybe even more so.
Okay, so the tech doesn't replace the thinking.
Not at all. And this brings up a crucial point the source makes. The difference between just finding information online, doing online research, and real critical thinking.
Ah, yes. Information overload is real.
It absolutely is.
Yeah.
Having access to everything isn't the same as understanding it or knowing what to do with it. You need that critical filter.
So what questions should we be asking?
Well, the source suggests several key ones. First, which information is actually relevant here? You have to sift through the noise.
Filter number one.
And can I verify this? Is this source credible and accurate? Huge in the age of misinformation. Then you need to ask, okay, what does this information actually mean in my situation? Context is everything.
Right.
And what action does it suggest? Remember, technical communication aims to enable action.
Translate data into a plan.
Precisely. But it goes further. How does this affect me or my colleagues? Considering the human impact.
Okay.
Who should I share this with and how? Choosing the right audience and the right medium. Is it a quick Slack message or a formal report?
That makes a difference.
A huge difference. And maybe the trickiest one. How might other people interpret this? Anticipating misunderstandings, considering different perspectives.
Wow, that's a lot more involved than just Googling something.
It's that deep engagement that turns raw information into effective technical communication.
And thinking about different interpretations naturally leads to the global aspect, right?
Yeah,
Because digital tools mean our audience could be anywhere.
absolutely anywhere. That's the next layer of complexity.
So when you're communicating across borders, what else comes into play?
It's huge.
Yeah.
You're not just crossing time zones, you're crossing cultures. Your message has to resonate, or at least be understood correctly, by people with potentially very different backgrounds and communication norms.
So documents need to reflect that diversity.
They must. It's not optional anymore if you want to be effective globally. You have to consider how people in different cultures might interpret things differently.
And that goes beyond just language translation, I assume.
Oh, way beyond. It's about understanding cultural differences in communication behavior. Things like nonverbal cues, although harder in writing, the tone can imply things. Or directness versus indirectness.
Can you give an example?
Sure. The source highlights Germany, the US, Canada, the UK, often emphasizing electronic and written messages, maybe valuing precision and detail in writing.
Okay, a preference for the written record.
Perhaps. They might see a detailed email or report as more thorough or professional, but then compare that with Japan.
What about Japan?
The source notes that Japan, despite having all the latest tech, still relies more on face-to-face communication than written modes.
Interesting. So the technology doesn't automatically change the cultural preference.
Exactly. For a Japanese audience, a document might be seen as supporting a conversation, not replacing it. Building that personal relationship first might be more critical. The document follows the dialogue.
So you need to adapt your entire approach, not just the words.
Precisely. Even things like visuals, icons, colors can have different meanings. It's about deep cultural adaptation or localization, not just surface-level translation.
So understanding that cultural context isn't just polite, it's fundamental for the message to land.
It's absolutely essential. If you ignore it, your perfectly accurate document might be ignored, misunderstood, or even cause offense. It's about ensuring acceptance and usability wherever your audience is. Respecting those nuances is key.
Okay, this is where it gets really interesting for me. We've talked about the scope, the types, the digital shift, the global piece. But the source makes a powerful claim. These skills aren't just for technical writers, they're part of most careers.
Yes, this is such a crucial takeaway. While there are dedicated roles, the skills of technical communication are incredibly pervasive.
So it's not just a niche job title.
Not at all. The source argues that strong writing and oral communication are prerequisites for almost any profession today. It's that secret superpower you mentioned earlier.
So who else is doing this kind of work without maybe calling it that?
Well, the list in the source is really eye-opening. Think about medical professionals, psychologists, social workers, accountants.
Guess so.
They're constantly preparing documentation, maybe for legal purposes, patient records, financial audits. Precision and clarity are absolutely vital there. A mistake can have huge consequences.
Okay, that makes sense. Who else?
Scientists. They're reporting research, explaining its significance often to non-scientists, writing memos, inspection reports, giving presentations. That's all technical communication.
Translating complex ideas.
Exactly. Or think about a lab technician or a service technician. They might be keeping daily logs, training coworkers on equipment, writing service reports. Clear communication is essential for safety and efficiency.
Right. They need to be understood quickly and accurately.
Then you have attorneys. They spend their lives researching complex laws and interpreting them for clients, distilling legal jargon into understandable advice. Pure technical communication.
Definitely.
Engineers and architects collaborating on proposals, sharing complex designs, writing specifications. High-level technical clarity is their bread and butter. Their blueprints are technical documents.
True.
Even people in nonprofits or government writing brochures, press releases, handbooks to inform the public.
Reaching diverse audiences.
Yep. And honestly, just about any employee in any company writing status reports, trip reports, memos, proposals, instructions. It's happening all the time.
Everywhere. And that list covers practically everyone. It really drives home that employers aren't just looking for technical experts in a narrow field.
Exactly. They're looking for well-rounded professionals who can communicate effectively about their expertise.
So what other skills do employers look for that tie into this, beyond the core job function?
The source highlights several key competencies that modern employers seek. The ability to research and, importantly, verify information is huge.
Critical thinking again.
Absolutely. Discerning reliable data from noise. Then the skill to speak and write effectively across various formats, adapting to email, presentations, reports, maybe even social media.
Versatility.
Also the capacity to persuade and motivate others. Convincing a client, getting buy-in from your team, that's often about clear, persuasive communication.
Right. Influencing action.
Flexibility and adaptability are also key. Things change fast. You need to be able to grasp and communicate new information quickly.
Lifelong learning.
Linked to that, yes. And the ability to work effectively in teams, which is crucial since, as we'll see, most complex comms are team efforts. And finally, that readiness for lifelong learning and continuous improvement. The landscape keeps shifting.
It sounds like technical communication skills are interwoven with almost all those desired competencies.
Deeply interwoven. They're not separate. They enable those other skills.
Okay, so while these skills are broad, let's talk about the people who do this full time. The dedicated technical communicators. What kind of job titles are we talking about?
Right, the specialists.
Yeah.
The source lists several common ones. You might see technical editor, they're ensuring accuracy, clarity, consistency, style.
Guardians of quality.
Kind of, yeah. Then user experience, UX engineers, they're designing how people interact with systems, making sure the communication within an interface is intuitive.
So design meets communication.
Exactly. Then the classic technical writer, creating manuals, instructions, online help. Also editor or documentation specialist, managing large sets of information.
Keeping it all organized and accessible.
And increasingly, web development specialists or content developers, focusing on how information is structured and presented online. These roles pop up everywhere. Tech companies, finance, pharma, government.
And what kind of products do they actually create? It sounds like more than just manuals.
Oh, much more. The scope is incredibly varied now. They might be involved in technical support, creating knowledge bases people can search.
Customer help.
Right. Or marketing materials for complex products, translating features into benefits. Legal documentation, scientific reporting for broader audiences, developing training programs.
So a huge range.
And the formats reflect that. Yes, user manuals, but also online help systems, customer support articles, web pages, even podcasts like this one, short reports, ebooks, instructional videos. It's truly multimedia.
It sounds like it requires a blend of skills.
Definitely. Beyond the writing itself, the meticulous attention to punctuation, grammar, style, logical organization, these roles often involve project management, coordinating documentation efforts.
Managing the whole process.
Yeah. Sometimes things like magazine editing for industry publications, video production, even teaching complex topics. It's analytical, it's creative, it's about understanding people, a really dynamic field.
Okay, so we know what it is, who does it, the sheer breadth of it, but how do we know if a piece of technical communication is actually good? Like truly effective? What are the hallmarks?
This is where we get down to brass tacks, what makes it work. The source highlights three main features, three characteristics of effective technical documents.
Let's hear them.
The first, and maybe the most crucial, is that it must be reader-centered.
Reader-centered, okay.
This is fundamentally different from, say, writing a poem or a personal blog post. Technical documents are not about the writer's feelings or showcasing their brilliance.
It's not about the writer at all.
Nope. The sole focus is on what the reader needs to learn, do, or decide, period. It has to fit their needs, their context, their goal, like designing that tool specifically for their hand.
So if the reader struggles, the document fails.
Essentially, yes. Regardless of how well written it might seem to the author, you have to start by understanding your audience deeply. What do they already know? What do they need to achieve? What questions will they have?
So empathy is key, putting yourself in the reader's shoes.
Absolutely critical. Which leads directly to the second feature. Documents must be accessible and efficient.
Accessible and efficient. Makes sense.
The core idea. Readers need to find the information they need quickly and easily, and understand it without unnecessary struggle.
Minimize the effort.
Exactly, especially for non-experts. They need clear structure, short chunks of info, main questions answered up front. We've all scrolled endlessly through a confusing website or manual.
Oh, yeah.
Painful.
That's a failure of accessibility and efficiency.
So what makes a document accessible and efficient? What are the elements?
The source lists several key ones. First, worthwhile content. Everything included is relevant, no fluff.
Get to the point.
Right. Second, sensible organization. A logical flow, like a good map, guiding the reader through complexity.
Clear structure.
Third, a readable style. Not just grammatically correct, but easy to read. Flowing sentences, appropriate language, active voice, no dense jargon or convoluted sentences.
Easy on the brain. Exactly. Fourth, effective visuals. Diagrams, charts, images that clarify concepts or replace words where possible. A picture really can be worth 1,000 words here.
Visual aids.
Fifth, effective page design. Good use of headings, lists, fonts, white space. Makes it easy to scan and visually appealing, not overwhelming.
Layout matters.
Hugely. And finally, supplements. Things like abstracts, appendices, glossaries, links. They provide extra detail for those who need it without cluttering the main text for everyone else.
Optional extras.
Right. They enhance accessibility without forcing information on everyone.
That programmable thermostat example in Figure 1.2 seems to nail this. It just feels easy. What's the trick?
It's a great example because it combines so many of those elements seamlessly. The trick is intentional design focused entirely on the user.
How so?
Look at the heading. How do you choose the right one for you? It's your question. Instantly reader-centered.
Oh, okay.
The overview quickly summarizes the point, saving energy. You know immediately if it's relevant. Paragraphs and sentences. Short. Easy to digest.
Bite-sized info.
Yep. Color is used strategically to highlight key things without being noisy. And that table, for comparing data, so much easier than reading paragraphs.
Right, comparison at a glance.
Every element is designed to minimize your effort and get you to your goal, programming that thermostat efficiently. It just works.
It really shows the thought that goes into good design. Okay, what's the third and final hallmark? You said it was perhaps the most serious.
It is. The third feature is accountability.
Accountability.
This elevates technical communication beyond just clarity and usability. It's about the legal, moral, and ethical responsibility for the information's accuracy and completeness.
So the stakes are high.
Extremely high. Unlike maybe a casual blog post, inaccuracies or omissions in technical documents can lead to serious consequences. The source is blunt: injury, damage, or loss.
Real-world harm.
Absolutely. Think faulty instructions for medical equipment, incorrect safety procedures, misleading financial reports. The impact can be devastating, not just to individuals, but also to a company's reputation, leading to lawsuits, loss of trust.
So integrity is non-negotiable.
It has to be. This feature underscores that technical communicators have a profound professional duty to be accurate, honest, and complete. It's a serious responsibility.
So those three, reader-centered, accessible and efficient, and accountable, they all work together, don't they?
They're completely interconnected.
Mm-hmm.
You can't be truly accountable if your information isn't clear and usable by the intended reader. It's a holistic view.
Okay, so if those are the hallmarks of effective documents, what are the fundamental reasons we create them in the first place? The source outlines three primary purposes.
Right. Understanding the purpose is crucial because it shapes everything: your approach, your structure, your tone. While they often overlap, there are three main goals.
That's the first one.
First, documents that inform. The main goal here is just to provide information, answer questions, help people understand something.
Pure information delivery.
Pretty much. Think of a report summarizing research findings, or a product spec sheet listing features. It's about conveying facts and knowledge clearly and objectively, answering the "what is it?" or "how does it work?" questions.
Okay, purpose number two.
Documents that instruct. Here, the goal is to help people do something, to perform a task.
Action-oriented.
Exactly. The instruction manual for assembling that exercise machine, steps for CPR, programming that thermostat. These documents guide the reader through a process. They don't just tell you about it, they tell you how to do it.
Got it. And the third purpose?
Documents that persuade. The primary aim here is to motivate readers to take a desired action or to influence their thinking.
Changing minds or behavior.
Right. A sales letter trying to get you to buy something. A proposal trying to get funding approved for a project. You're building a case, addressing objections, trying to convince the reader.
So making an argument?
Essentially, yes. Even implicitly. Like that thermostat example showing cost savings that's persuading you to use it in an energy-efficient way.
And you said these often overlap?
Very often. You might inform readers about a new software feature, instruct them on how to use it, and persuade them it's better than the old version, all in one document or web page.
So you need to know which purpose is dominant when.
Exactly. But recognize that elements of all three might be working together.
Okay, purpose is understood. Now, how do we actually do it? How do we prepare these effective documents? The source identifies 4 essential tasks.
Right, these 4 tasks are like the practical roadmap. Whether technical communication is your whole job or just part of it, these are the core actions you need to take.
Task number 1.
Deliver information readers can use. This echoes the reader-centered idea, but emphasizes practicality. It's not just data, it's actionable knowledge.
So directly applicable.
Yes. Explain how a feature benefits the user, how it solves their problem. The information must connect directly to their world and enable them to do something with it.
Makes sense?
Task 2. Use persuasive reasoning. We just talked about persuasion as a purpose, but this task highlights that even in seemingly objective documents, you often need to guide the reader's thinking.
Even in an informational report.
Often, yes. You're presenting evidence that logically leads to a conclusion. Your job is to make that logical path clear. Build a compelling case based on facts. Maybe anticipate counterarguments. It's about helping people not just understand, but agree or see the validity of a recommendation.
Okay. Task 3.
Weigh ethical issues. This is critical and ties back to accountability. It's about more than just being legal. It's considering the moral implications.
Going beyond the rules.
Yes, asking, is this fair? Who benefits? Who might suffer? What are the long-term consequences of presenting information this way or maybe omitting something? It requires real critical thinking about the impact of your words. Integrity is key.
A heavy responsibility.
It really is. And the fourth task, practice good teamwork.
Collaboration.
Exactly. Most complex technical documents aren't solo efforts. They involve engineers, scientists, managers, legal experts, designers, all contributing.
Many cooks in the kitchen.
Sometimes. So good teamwork means effective collaboration, sharing understanding, managing different inputs, ensuring everyone's working towards a cohesive, clear final product. It's crucial.
So those 4 tasks, usable info, persuasion, ethics, teamwork, they all feed into creating an effective document, as Figure 1.3 shows.
Precisely. They're the pillars supporting the final structure.
But how do these interact in the real world? Things are usually messier, right?
Oh, definitely messier. Real-world problems rarely fit neatly into one box. And that's where the Sarah Bume's case studies in the source become so valuable.
Yes, the chemical engineer at Millicent.
Exactly.
Yeah.
These cases show how these tasks and challenges overlap and collide in practice. They make it concrete.
Okay, let's dive into Sarah's world. Case 1 was about providing usable information.
Right. Case 1, providing information readers can use. Sarah's first big assignment. Evaluate water quality, find pollutants, and convince management to change the filters.
So gather data, make a case.
Yes, but it doesn't stop there. She studies the data, writes the recommendation report, and collaborates with training and maintenance to create user manuals, web pages, PDFs about the new filters.
So multiple formats for different users.
Exactly. It shows gathering, analyzing, persuading, and delivering usable information in various ways to ensure the change actually happens and is sustained. It's action-oriented from start to finish.
Okay, clear application there. What about case 2, persuasion?
Case 2, being persuasive. This one gets much tougher. Millicent has a history of pollution issues in the past, public distrust, adage, lots of it. Now, current employees are emotional, they disagree on solutions, and social media amplifies everything. Sarah has to write an environmental impact report and justify some delays.
Wow, talk about a charged environment.
Exactly. This case highlights the immense challenge of persuasion when facts are mixed with history, emotion, and politics. She needs to understand all these viewpoints, manage the emotional temperature, and craft a document that might somehow influence a skeptical audience.
That sounds incredibly difficult. Persuasion beyond just logic.
Way beyond. It's about navigating human dynamics, past grievances, future anxieties. Every word choice is critical.
Okay, then case 3 really hits hard on ethics.
Case 3. Considering the ethical issues. This is a classic dilemma. Sarah needs to ensure OSHA compliance for air quality. Filters are clogged, benzene testing is needed.
Just standard procedure.
Should be. But her manager wants her to approve lower, potentially unsafe, benzene levels in her report. Maybe to save money or avoid delays.
Pressure from above.
Right. So Sarah faces a stark choice. Compromise her integrity and potentially endanger workers. Or recommend the safer, higher levels and face the consequences, delays, costs, maybe pushback from her boss.
That's a tough spot.
It really underscores the weight of ethical responsibility. Asking those questions, is this fair? Who suffers? What are the long-term consequences? It shows integrity isn't abstract, it has real-world flashpoints.
A true test. And finally, case 4 brings in teamwork and the global aspect.
Case 4, working on a team and thinking globally. Millicent is multinational, branches everywhere, different cultures. Sarah needs to create web-based training and videos for chemical management to be used globally.
So crossing cultures again?
Yes, and combining it with teamwork. She needs to consider diverse cultural expectations, different legal requirements in various countries, varying environmental concerns, all while likely working with colleagues from those different locations.
Wow.
It requires understanding, adapting, synthesizing information across cultures, managing translations, ensuring legal compliance everywhere. It's teamwork and global thinking rolled into one complex challenge, creating something truly universal.
These cases really bring it all to life. They show it's not just about writing, it's about navigating complex human, ethical, and global situations.
Exactly. They demonstrate that technical communication is often a high-stakes activity, demanding technical skill, yes, but also sharp judgment, ethical grounding, cultural sensitivity, and great collaboration.
So, what this all means for you, our listener, these aren't just textbook scenarios, they reflect the real challenges professionals face daily. Sarah Bunes's experiences make it powerfully clear just how demanding and important this field
It's
is.
about being effective, responsible, and adaptable.
Well, we have certainly taken a deep dive into the fascinating and surprisingly complex world of technical communication today.
We really covered some ground.
From that core definition, exchanging information to solve problems and interact with tech, to seeing how it pops up in nearly every career. And navigating all those digital, human, and global layers, it's clear it's so much more than just writing instructions.
Absolutely. It's really the engine of understanding in our world.
We've explored how it's all about making that complex information accessible, understandable, and truly actionable.
Right. Delivering information readers can use. Using persuasive reasoning effectively. Always weighing those ethical considerations. And often doing it all as part of a team. Those four tasks are key.
A holistic approach.
Definitely.
And it's so clear now that whether you're building a complex report, just sending a quick email, or putting together a presentation, you are engaging in technical communication, it's unavoidable.
It really is a fundamental part of professional life. Which leads to a final thought, maybe a question for you, our listener, to mull over.
Okay.
Given how pervasive technical communication is and knowing the ethical weight it can carry, how can you ensure the information you share, maybe just in your next email or in that report you're working on, is not just accurate, but also ethical, persuasive in the right way, and truly useful for the person receiving it? Think about the power of clear, responsible communication in your daily life. How can you make every interaction just that little bit more effective?